A sharp escalation in rhetoric between Russia and Ukraine is unfolding against a backdrop of intense fighting and growing international alarm over a renewed nuclear arms race. The Russian Defense Ministry has publicly accused Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky of being completely lost touch with reality, alleging that he is concealing the deteriorating battlefield situation from his own people and Western partners. This accusation centers on the strategic eastern town of Kupyansk and Pokrovsk, where Moscow claims its offensive is progressing steadily. The ministry statement suggests Zelensky is either being misled by his commanders or is deliberately misrepresenting Ukraine's military position to secure continued aid. These claims have been amplified by reports in media outlets like the German newspaper Bild, which cited Ukrainian military and intelligence sources warning of a potential encirclement of their forces. This has fueled internal criticism within Ukraine, with some lawmakers openly accusing President Zelensky of misleading the public and basing critical decisions on false information. The pressure on Kyiv's leadership is intensifying as Russian forces have reportedly captured a significant portions of the strategic city of Pokrovsk after months of grueling urban combat, deploying infiltration units and advanced drone warfare. The situation remains dire, with Ukrainian officials acknowledging the intensity of the fighting, describing as some of the most severe since the fall of Avdiivka. In a more signaling and long-term military footing, Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a landmark law that will introduce year-round military conscription starting in 2026. This reform, presented as an administrative measure to ease the burden on recruitment officers, allows for the continuous processing of conscripts throughout the year. This gives the Kremlin the flexibility to increase its troop members without declaring politically sensitive new waves of mobilization. Analysts interpret this as a significant step toward transitioning Russia to a permanent state of military readiness, institutionalizing a wartime society to sustain its long-term strategic objectives in Ukraine and potentially beyond. The law will allow draft boards and medical commissions to operate continuously, although conscripts will still be sent to their units during the traditional spring and autumn draft period. This development follows Russia's 2022 mobilization, the first since World War II, which prompted significant domestic unease and an exodus of citizens. By creating a more streamlined and continuous recruitment system, Moscow appears to be preparing its military apparatus for a prolonged period of conflict. The global security environment has been further destabilized by a series of moves and countermoves from the world's primary nuclear powers, rekindling fears of a Cold War-style arms race. This escalation was significantly heightened when U.S. President Donald Trump ordered the United States to resume nuclear weapon testing, a practice it had halted since 1992. Citing the testing programs of other nations, Trump's directive immediately triggered a response from Moscow. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his officials to prepare proposals for potential resumption of Russian nuclear tests, emphasizing that while Russia has adhered to the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, it would be forced to take retaliatory measures if the U.S. proceeds. Russia's defense minister, Andrei Belousov, stated it was advisable to prepare for full-scale nuclear tests, suggesting the Novaya Zemlya site in the Arctic could be reactivated on short notice. This exchange has been widely seen as a severe blow to decades of arms control norms and a sign of eroding trust and stability between the nuclear armed state. The potential end of the long-standing moratorium on testing signals a dangerous new chapter in international relations. Adding to these tensions, Russia has unveiled and celebrated what it describes as a new generation of unstoppable strategic weapons. At a Kremlin ceremony on National Unity Day, President Putin awarded top scientists and engineers for the development of the Burevestnik nuclear-powered cruise missile and the Poseidon underwater drone. Putin hailed these systems as a historic breakthrough that ensures Russia's strategic priorities for the 21st century. He claimed the Burevestnik, which translates to Storm Petrel, has an unmatched global range and pinpoint accuracy, possessing no counterpart in the world. According to Russian officials, the missile recently completed a successful 15 hours test flight, covering over 14,000 kilometers. Putin also lauded the Poseidon underwater drone, a nuclear-powered and nuclear-armed unmanned vehicle capable of diving to depth of 1,000 meters and outrunning any surface ship. Described as capable of triggering radioactive tsunamis to devastate coastal areas, the Poseidon represents a formidable new type of strategic threat. Putin emphasized that these advanced systems were developed using domestic technology, highlighting Russia's drive for technological sovereignty in the face of Western sanctions. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question though. With Russia unveiling advanced new weapons like the Burevestnik and Poseidon, and with both the US and Russia preparing to resume nuclear testing, do you believe we are witnessing the inevitable start of a new, more dangerous Cold War? And why? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinion on where this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.